For those who don't settle when others do. Who will give everything, but won't give up. For those who believe in unlimited, while others limit themselves. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
Welcome everybody to the streets of Long Beach. You've been here all day, but guess what? This is the party that is turns 9, 10, and 11. These are the streets of Long Beach, but guess what? Formula Drift occupies this Coliseum. 3 turns, all killer, no filler. All thriller, no filler. This is the Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge. My name is Jared Dienda. Joining me to my right, doing double duty, not only being a judge, but also co-host, Ryan Lontaine, a longtime judge. Ryan, how long have you been a judge?
This is my 12th year, Jared.
12th year. Yeah, I love your mellow tempo right there. I was all excited, and then you just like really bring it down. But that is absolutely justified because you're scrutinizing the runs that are going down. This is kind of an invitational. It's just a fun way to put drifting on a historic track. I mean, 30 plus years, F1, IndyCar, sports car racing. You're a fan of all motorsports, but drifting in particular, you're scrutinizing these runs. We had an event last night. It's all about a Great 8, Long Beach Super Drift Challenge. What are we looking at? What is the track? What is the criteria? Because it's not about the checkered flag. It's more about the criteria, line, angle, style. Break those down a little further, if you would.
Yeah, when we do a normal Formula Drift event, we have 3 criteria that we will look at during qualifying: line, angle, and style.
I can't hear you, Ryan. The cars are shredding way too hard right now. Hold on. Let's wait. we're buffering right now because right now we're in practice. The cars are getting used to this track. We've cleared out the NMSA cars, the IMSA car, like the sports cars, like we've seen a bevy of motorsports. But for the fans tuning in right now, line, angle, style. Okay.
Yeah, line is, of course, where the car is situated on the track. We have 3 outside zones. We have a touch and go, and we have an inside clip here at this track. And, of course, they're not marked tonight, but the drivers all know where they are. So they need to get out to zone 1, 2, and 3. Those are the ones that are on the wall that are the riskiest. You want to get all the way out to the wall and then get to close to the touch and go. And, of course, inside clip 1, which we can see at the hairpin way over there. There's that one white cone. The drivers need to get their nose as close to that as possible. Now we have the decel map here. We know that the cars will decel at initiation, so that's the first decel area, kind of top left. They get around that first corner. They need to get on throttle as quickly as possible. First of all, for the momentum to keep flowing through the course, so that chase car knows where they're going to be decelling, get on throttle at the right place. And then, of course, the second decel is over by the inside clip.
Yeah, overall, there's 3 outside zones, a touch and go, and an inside clip. Forrest Wang won last night. He has something to prove. He wanted to enter the Pro Championship this year, but unfortunately, we capped the amount of drivers that can enter. Guess what? He showed up in grand fashion. That Get Nuts Laboratory, Yellow Speed Racing, 2 JZ-powered S15 showed up. And mind you, Michael Essa, who is definitely a fierce competitor, did well last weekend. We'll see him in about a month at Michelin Raceway. I almost said Road Atlanta, but I'll just say it again. But Michael, there's 4 pro cars. There's 4 cars that are kind of on the cusp of being pro cars. Regardless, really good competition last night, but Forrest Wang delivered. It was kind of what you guys have entered into the vernacular that is the X factor. I feel that Forrest Wang really did that last night.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
He really did, and he's going to be trying to do it again tonight.
Here's the matchups this evening. What stands out to you? Who's kind of a powerhouse? You know, you see Kyle Mohan versus Sorensen. Sorensen had a little bit of troubles last night. He was leaking some fluids. Robbins versus Beechum. Carney versus Wang. Essa versus Charpentier.
Yeah, Carney versus Wang will be an interesting one. Dean Carney made it to 4th place last night, and of course he wants to do better tonight. Like you said, Forrest Wang is trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
He was not able to come into Formula Drift competition this year because of that cap, and he's putting on a heck of a show here, showing that he definitely could play at the FD Pro level.
He has this kind of like built-in cult-like following that is the Get Nuts Laboratory, you know, scientists. They follow him. They love kind of the build. You know, a Sylvia S15 you cannot deny is one of the most beautiful cars ever made. Next to, I always love the FDRX7s. I think the factory lines of that car, but I would say the Sylvia S15. And then you throw a 2JZ power plant in that really kind of disrupts, but also really celebrates the JDM culture.
Yeah, that's an iconic car. It's sort of an iconic duo in drifting.
Boom, there you go. Looking at it, and there you come. That is Forrest Wang. He got the win last night. That is Rome Charpentier. This is just practice, kids. This is just practice. We're warming up some tires, getting familiar with the track, and this is what we see throughout the weekend. You know, the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach is just all about getting familiar with the course, and then when it comes to game time, that's what they're doing. But guess what? We had game time last night. We had game time last weekend with the Formula Drift Pro Championship. But tonight, it's all about just this really cool grade 8 that's going to whittle down to 1 overall winner.
Yeah, you know, one of the really big talking points about last night was Kyle Mohan and his MX-5. We did not expect him to get so comfortable in that car so quickly. He has been campaigning the RX-8 in the last couple of seasons in FD. So to have him jump into that MX-5 and do that well that quickly, it was impressive. He got out to outside zone 1, tapped the wall. He was on throttle. He was looking fast. He was looking so comfortable in that car, which was something that, like I said, we weren't expecting, but he's going to carry that momentum into tonight. I
felt like, you know, I was talking to Joe Mohan, his dad, and he said he got out of the RX-8 in Long Beach, last weekend, last weekend, he got out and he says, man, don't touch the car, which is very rare, he said, for Kyle. But guess what? I know what to do to the MX-5 to make sure it works. So, which is really cool. So they've applied some of the knowledge that they gained with the RX-8 last weekend, applied to MX-5. We can see Kyle the Menace Mohan, who is from right here in Long Beach, do really well here this evening. That is Brandon Sorensen in his backup car. Not a lot of turn and burn in that backup vehicle. He hasn't driven that car since a year ago. Trent Beechum, also a Formula Drift Pro competitor, but obviously having some struggles. You know, it's all about seat time. How much how much success relies on getting seat time as opposed to just kind of like, oh, getting back into the scheme of things. As we look at Charpentier, who was here just last week, and Essa, who was here last weekend.
Yeah.
Seat time, how important is that?
Seat time is one of the most important things. We, internally here, the judges, Robbie Nishida, who's in Japan, who we judge with over there and work with, we're always talking about how the drivers that do really well internationally in this sport, in Formula Drift, in different series, are the drivers that drive all the time. It's very important.
It's really important. It's critical that, you see a lot of the drivers really flourish. If it's two-time Formula Drift champion Vaughn Ginn Jr. hung up his helmet this year, Adam LZ part of it. Guess what? There's our season schedule. If you don't know about it, be about it. Because guess what? In just short of a month, we'll be in Atlanta. Then we're on to Orlando, Englishtown, New Jersey, St. Louis, Missouri, just across the river, and then Monroe, Washington, the Battle in Seattle, a new venue for us. We'll be in Utah in September, not too far from here. And then, of course, literally not too far from here, about an hour, Irwindale, California, the House of Drift, for a culmination of our 19th season. Yeah, 19 seasons. Formula Drift has been around. It's pretty inspiring.
It is.
I'm excited. I think it's great. Got a lot of people yelling here in the background. They're excited about drifting, so it's great. I think that all equates to the feverish kind of. Do you feel that, like, just being here on the grounds of the Long Beach Grand Prix? Like, you're a motorsports fan, open wheel, sports car. Do you get excited being here in this kind of carnival, this traveling circus?
Yeah, absolutely, especially since they have so many different support races here that we get to watch, like the Stadium Super Trucks, which are incredible to watch, and then those historic IMSA cars that were out earlier. Those are things that you don't get to see generally. You have to go to a special place like this, and they don't always bring things like, series, let's say, or cars like those historic IMSA cars. So it's something that I guess you have to cherish, because those cars are older, quite a bit older. And,
why do you look right at me when you say old, Ryan? Why do you stare square into my eyes and you say old?
You got to get your sunglasses off so I can
know.
look deep in those eyes.
I was actually blocking the sun for you because my head is like, it's an orange on a toothpick, so it was like a natural solar eclipse. It was like an American Canadian. Guess what? When we come back, we're going to be seeing some head-to-head action. We're drawing straws. It's a randomizer. Regardless, the randomness is that you're here. No, I'm all joking. All kidding aside, the Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge here at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. When we come back, my name's Jared Deanna, Ryan Lontaine, our judges, Brian Egger, Chris Yule, and all the Long Beach fans. It's a beautiful day here on the shores of Long Beach. When we come back, head-to-head competition.
Official sponsor of Formula Drift. Join the social app for car enthusiasts. Show off your rides. Connect with Formula Drift drivers and fans. Find your crew. Locate events. Watch exclusive Formula Drift clips powered by Throttle. Join the social app that brings together car lovers from across the globe. Go full throttle and download the app now.
My name came up a lot of sounds, more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Stretch, seal my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep.
We are on the streets of Long Beach. The sun is setting, but the fans are feverish. Oh man, the masks are off, the waves are coming, but guess what? It's a little windy, so you don't see white caps over there. What you do see is our Grade 8 driver introduction here in just a little bit. As we're getting our stage set. They're going reverse of the wave. That's whoever's throwing this wave up right here, you need to go towards the water. That's the problem. It's a wave. It goes towards the water. See, oh, it's going opposite side. I don't know whoever's organizing this. Regardless, thank you so much to the Tanaka and Jim and the Cascadians for hosting us here. We've been coming to the streets of Long Beach for numerous years, and we are about to meet our 8 drivers here for our Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge, the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. Our drivers will be out here on track, and we'll be giving you some insight, and it was a sensational event last night. I think it really delivered overall. Just gives you a little taste, a little just, you know, wets your whistle a little bit and lets you know what drifting is, because I would highly encourage you to join us either online or in person at one of our 8 stops of the Formula Drift Championship. Thank you to my boy Sam's Autoland, Sam Cascadian in the building. Thank you so much. Dwight Tanaka, the Tanaka family. Jim McKellian, president of the Grand Prix of Long Beach. Thank you so much for having us out here, and the whole extended family of the Grand Prix of Long Beach. As we kick things, Jake, maybe you. Jake Tanaka, thank you so much for running it. Joyce, running race control like an absolute boss. The fastest race control I've ever seen. Ryan Lontaine, let's talk about the keys to success here. What are we looking for somebody who's new to Formula Drift?
Well, the lead driver, of course, needs to run the proper line with the right angle and try to exhibit that X factor that we were talking about. So approaching the edges of the track with confidence and using momentum throughout the course. And then the chase driver needs to adapt to that lead driver. So the chase driver needs to know the lead driver's initiation style. They need to position themselves properly behind the lead car. And not getting lost in the smoke is a big one. There are a couple of transitions on this track, and that's definitely where you can get lost in the smoke. You want to focus on that proximity from start to finish. You want to be as close as possible. Do not let the lead car get away. And of course, the chase driver should not take away the lead driver's line anywhere, but especially at inside clip number 1.
We saw that last night. I think the critical points are transition outside zone 1 to under the bridge. You saw some drivers really impede or kind of get choked up on that transition from outside zone 1 to under the bridge outside zone 2. It's all about outside 1 to 2 to 3. Also the touch and go. We saw that because, mind you, last weekend, round 1 of our Pro Championship, it was a different situation because we're not under the lights. Last night, we're under the lights. So the smoke gets thicker when the lights shine on it. So it's more of a white, cloudy kind of smoke as opposed to a little transparent. You kind of see through it. Last night, not the case.
No, when it's nighttime and the light hits the smoke, it just becomes opaque. You can't see through it. You have no idea what's going on ahead of you. So you attempt to use muscle memory. You attempt to listen for where that car is ahead of you, but it can be deceiving being in that smoke. So going to the touch and go is a tricky spot for sure. And last night we saw Mike Essa get into a situation where he came to a stop there at inside clip 1 to avoid hitting the lead car. And I heard maybe he had a transmission issue that may have arisen there that caused him to straighten up. So maybe not as much visual as it was mechanical issue.
We are now bringing out the vehicles to present to you who is going to do battle here. Again, turns 9, 10, 11 of this iconic track. Being utilized throughout the weekend. If you're tuning in for the first time, we are live around the world. If you're here in the bleachers, grandstands 16 and 18. And we are looking for, looks like, I'm not seeing one more vehicle out there. Who is that? Who are we missing? Looks like Kyle Mohan. Hopefully we get to see him out here in competition. I'm seeing and counting 7 vehicles, Ryan Lontaine. Hopefully we get our hometown hero, Kyle Mohan, in the mix. Any updates with Kyle Mohan?
I haven't heard any yet, but I can ask some questions.
Please do.
Yeah, we had Brian Eggert just fill us in that it seemed like something happened on his last practice run, and his spotter ran off the.
All right, so we're going to introduce. Sorry to cut you off there.
Okay.
So update is that Kyle Mohan, he's out for the driver intro, but hopefully he will be there for the battle. And mind you, he is the first battle in the Grade 8. Ooh. Are you ready to meet your Grade 7 drivers at this point? Hopefully Grade 8. Make some noise, Long Beach! Oh, come on. It's Saturday. It's beautiful weather. Everybody take a deep stretch. Make some noise, Long Beach! Here are your Grade 8 drivers. We kick things off with the first car parked. Your former Formula Drift champion. He pilots the FCP Euro, Liqui-Moly GT Radial, Bilstein shock absorbers, BMW. Make some noise for Michael Essa! Coming up next, another Southern California hero. He is in the Clonex. Next entire, guess what? This has a Chevy engine under the hood of the Ford Mustang. You might hate him, but guess what? You might love him. Make some noise for Trenton Beechum. He won here last night, and if you have a nut allergy, stay away from this gentleman because he's about to get nuts. In the Get Nuts Laboratory, Yellow Speed Racing NRG, 2JZ powered, Sylvia S15, your winner last night. Can he do it back-to-back? Forrest Wang! Moving on down the line, he was on the podium last night. He got 3rd place. He is ready to better it here. He qualified 5th last weekend. Guess what? Red's not his color. Green, pink, whatever, regardless. The Garagistic BMW E36. Give moderns hell. Rome Charpentier. This gentleman came, no, I don't want to say from the furthest in the United States, because he comes all the way from Soda. That's Minnesota. In the Facetto Nissan 350Z, he's running some Koenig wheels. Make some noise for Alec Robbins! This next driver is flying high from the off-road to on-road, from drifting to dirt track. This gentleman does it all at 17 years young. In the United States Air Force BMW from Las Vegas, Nevada, it is Brandon Sorensen! No disrespect to Alec Robbins. Like I said, coming all the way across country. This gentleman comes to us from Ireland. He's a longtime competitor in the Formula Drift Championship in his brand new G5 Dodge Viper. HyperNFT.io Dodge Viper. Make some noise for Dean Carnage Carney! Those are 7 of the 8 drivers. Hopefully, Kyle the Menace Mohan from Long Beach, California, in his renewable lubricants, Mazda Trix MX-5 can make it out here. There are the 7 drivers that you've seen. Hopefully, Kyle Mohan, who is up on deck. He is in the batting circle. Opening day was just yesterday. We'll find out if he can make it, or is Brandon Sorensen gonna get a bye run? When we come back, we're gonna be seeing some head-to-head action here at the Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge, the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. We're ready to send it here. Myself, Jared Dienda, Ryan Lontaine, our judges, Brian Eggert, Chris Yule, all thriller, no filler, out here on turns 9, 10, and 11 of this Grand Prix of Long Beach track.
those who don't settle when others do, who will give everything but won't give up, for those who believe in unlimited while others limit themselves, for those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
Welcome back to the streets of Long Beach. We are getting an update who did so well, not only yesterday, only in practice, but guess what? We're going to see him next round of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Kyle the Menace Mohan from Long Beach, California, is unfortunately a scratch. The MX-5 vehicle, the lone rotary in competition, is going to be a scratch, but guess what? We will see him in just shy of a month at Michelin Raceway in Braselton, Georgia for the second round of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. He'll be piloting his renewable lubricants Mazda-Trix RX-8 at round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, but Brandon Sorensen in his United States Air Force BMW with the LS-powered vehicle will be advancing on. He'll get the fast pass into the Final Four. So Brandon Sorensen, 17 years old. From what I understand, yesterday he was doing some off-road short course truck racing, and then he had to catch a flight to come out here. He departed early, not only in the bracket, but also because he departed early in the bracket, he got to catch a flight back and then do some short course truck racing. So this is a quick little buy run. Listen to the sights and sounds of the United States Air Force BMW with that LS powered vehicle. 17 years young, from Las Vegas, Nevada, Brandon Sorensen. Lontaine, as he rips by, we'll listen to him. But what are your expectations from Brandon Sorensen here in another Formula Drift Pro Championship?
Well, he's just showing that he's so capable, and at his young age, he's a sponge. So he's soaking everything up. He's just going to keep getting better and better.
And unfortunately, as they say, as the cookie crumbles, yesterday he had some sort of sensor bolt or something fell out, and he spilled fluid on the track. I think it was a crank sensor bolt that came loose. He spilled fluid on the track, so he had a departure early. But, you know, kind of that's the way it kind of ebbs and flows with motorsports, and especially drifting. So Brandon Sorensen advances on, not the way you want to advance on, but definitely a talented driver. Eager to see kind of as he develops. Again, sometimes it's a game of inches, but the most important inches are the ones in between your ears, and that's all about mind and therapy.
And like you said, he competes in so many different motorsports venues that he has a lot of experience, not only with the competitive side, but also the mental side, being kind of trained over the years to go with the flow and not get affected so much by the pressure and the stress of competition.
All right, so as we move on to our next battle, Alec Robbins versus Trenton Beechum, who is going to go against Brandon Sorensen in the Great 8. I mean, whose palms are sweaty, mom's spaghetti, you know what I mean? Who's ready to throw down right now? I mean, who's ready for some spaghetti? Are you?
It's a lot of words, Jared, but
I don't know if you heard the song. I feed off of the flow, what's going on here.
I understand. No, I can't hear the song actually with that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now I understand.
You're going to lose yourself, though. Just wait. We are seeing one Nissan 350Z, the Facetto Nissan 350Z of Alec Robbins. He's going to be leading. Again, Alec Robbins from Minnesota, Trenton Beechum in that Clone X, next to tire Ford Mustang. So again, he offended some of you. I love ruffling feathers. Why not, right? Guess what? The power plant that exists is the power plant under my hood. So regardless, it might be a Frankenstein car. Regardless, you got to disrupt the norm. Here we go. Play by the rules, but just upset some people. And guess what? Regardless, the car always looks better when it's on top of the podium. So Trenton Beechum will chase him down with that LS-powered Ford Mustang. Alec Robbins will lead. Trenton Beechum will give chase. Who's going against Brandon Sorensen? That's the question. Start chicane, in effect, no cones hit. We got a clean start. Alec Robbins initiates in that first turn, that 90-degree turn, outside zone 1, coming into view. Alec Robbins uses all of the, no, he does not. He doesn't get all the way out there. Definitely deeper in the second. Trenton Beechum nowhere to be found in that Ford Mustang. Alec Robbins doesn't exactly put the car where it's intended, but does do better, unfortunately, than Trenton Beechum. So when Alec Robbins came through that right-hand 90-degree turn into the view of Ryan Lantain, Brian Eggert, and Chris Yule. There are judges, line angle style. Walk us through it, Ryan Lantain, my co-host.
Yeah, what I'm concerned about here is where's Trenton Beechum? He's not in proximity whatsoever here in the chase position. And in the lead, you can see Alec Robbins isn't really filling outside zone 1. Did a much better job on 2. Could have been deeper in 3, but again, Trenton Beechum is not in proximity, and he's not really mimicking the line that Alec Robbins is putting down either. So he's kind of making some compromises there in the chase position. You can see his line is quite a bit more inside there at outside zone 1. Same thing for 2. He's definitely trying to play catch up here. His tire was almost on that rumble strip on the inside. So he's really not positioning his car where it should be, but that all stems from him not being in proximity down the straightaway. And I'm not sure if he stumbled on the start line perhaps, but it looked like a clean start from the starter's point of view. So we haven't seen any indication that there should have been a restart. But let's see what happens here with Trenton in the lead. If he did have an issue off the line in the chase, I hope it doesn't repeat itself in the lead position here.
No, that I would hope that being the lead car, you don't kind of disrupt yourself. He's going to get the clean air. Alec Robbins will pace him, and that's why we created the start chicane. Basically, that start chicane says, all right, it's not a drag race to the initiation point. It's all about kind of pairing yourselves up, making sure you got the proximity, make sure you have kind of the initiation from jump, essentially. So here we go. Trenton Beechum initiates Alec Robbins, keeps good measure. Trenton Beechum doesn't get all the way out there. I think Alec Robbins kind of pedaling back here as Beechum now goes in that third and final outside zone into the touch and go, into that final inside clip. I will tell you that Robbins didn't have the best chase job towards the latter part of the track, but unfortunately I think Beechum did himself in on the chase run on the first portion of that battle.
Yeah, and in this situation, the lead driver has to lay down a good lead run for the chase driver to be able to actually have an opportunity to put together a good chase. And you can see here, right off the start, it looked like Beechum had a slower roll up to initiation.
Yeah.
He wasn't really at the speed that you'd expect, didn't fill the zones the way he should be filling the zones, and had some handbrake pulls where you shouldn't have handbrake pulls. And I think Alec Robbins did a good job of adapting in the chase based on what he had to follow, which clearly wasn't ideal.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'll play along.
I have to work with what you're giving me.
Yeah, exactly. And then slide him left for Robbins, right for Beechum, and you know the answer. Alec Robbins gets the win. He will advance on. He's going against Brandon Sorensen in the Final Four. Long Beach, make some noise. It's a beautiful evening here on Saturday night. We have 2 vehicles in the K&N air filters. Final Four, K&N air filters, the official air filter of Formula Drift. Next up, we have 2 battles in our Great 8. Dean Carney, Forrest Wang. Dean Carney and Forrest Wang, 2 well-prepared vehicles in the Pro Championship. That is Dean Carney's Pro vehicle. Unfortunately, Forrest Wang not join us in the Pro Championship. Looking forward to seeing him join us in 2023. But Dean Carney with that Gen 5 Dodge Viper, great looking car. Hyper NFT, the NFT world, going from hypercars, hyper tracks, and hyper NFTs. In the metaverse, take a look as every round of the competition, scan the QR code. Hyper NFT is available from helmets to liveries to tracks, all available on hypernft.io. There are the stats, there are the numbers, there's the residencies, there's the vehicles. Well, it says Toyota, but it's actually a Toyota power plant under the hood of a Nissan. Regardless, it should be a good time. So we are seeing Dean Carney. He will be starting out first. He will be leading, and Forrest Wang will be given chase. See Forrest Wang back there, who was our winner last night. He's going to have to go past. Ryan, what's your strategy? You're Dean Carney, you're Forrest Wang. Walk us through the kind of headspace of either driver.
They just need to be accurate and consistent. In the lead position, you have to get out to the zones, fill them, have good transitions. It doesn't take much more than that, but this track is so complicated because of the fact that the first corner is blind, there are walls everywhere. What seems simple is not, and that's why you see some guys struggling here, but that's really all they need to do in the lead.
And also, I have to take into consideration that Dean Carney, pro driver, we're going to see him in less than a month at round 2.
Yep.
Forrest Wang, he won last night. Not as much to risk because he's not in the Pro Championship. That's to come into play. Dean Carney out front. Look at Forrest Wang, says, yo, I'm all up in the back end of that Dodge Viper. Oh, wait! Guess what? Dean Carney came out to play. He's popping trunks, popping bottles on that podium. Dean Carney slaps that back bumper into the wall and says, yo, I might be at a Pro Championship next weekend, but that does not matter. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. Watch, take a look at this, Ryan.
You can see how hard he hit that wall. His rear hatch has twisted from the hit. So right there, you can see as it comes around, he is, like you said, throwing caution to the wind this weekend. He doesn't seem to have any concerns whatsoever. And in the chase position, what you have is Forrest Wang staying right there with them. He didn't go quite as wide there, but of course you wouldn't want to because you ended up crushing the back of your car in the wall. But Dean doesn't get out, of course, as far on outside zone 2, mainly because he hit the wall on 1, and then 3 he was off considerably. And in the chase position, you've got Forrest Wang doing the best that he can to mimic what Dean's doing. But of course, when Dean hit that wall in outside zone 1, you have to expect that Forrest in the chase was thinking, is he going to go into the wall harder than this? And he probably, maybe held back just slightly, just for safety's sake in that situation. So now that Forrest is going into the lead, he really just needs to run a clean line, get out to outside zone 1, but not hit it, not bury the back of his car in there. He just needs to get out there within a foot or so of the wall, maybe a little bit closer. We like to see that little bumper rub, and then transition to 2, get close on 3, and he's going to win the lead-to-lead comparison in that way.
It's kind of applicable to reference last night. He did all the right things without disrupting his 2-up performance super doof body kit. He kind of tapped it, but again, there's a love tap, there's a hate tap. Dean Carney lived up to his name. That's a bit more of a hate tap on initiation.
Yeah, and you can see Kevin was back there making sure that the car was good enough to run, making sure the hatch was going to stay shut, making sure that it wasn't so far damaged that he wouldn't be able to run, and it looks like he gave it the thumbs up as they are going through the start line procedure now. The lights have extinguished, and they're off.
Here we go. So Forrest Wang is out front. Dean Carney in the chase position. Let's see if he gets out to the outside zone. Yes, he does. Look at that. And that was a nice, oh man, that's a chef's kiss right there, Forrest Wang. But look at Dean Carney in the chase position. You give a good lead run, you're going to get a good chase run.
That's
and
right.
Dean Carney, wow. Woo! That might be the best run we might see tonight. That was really, really well done by Forrest Wang. So again, Dean Carney, that's a hate tap. You saw him just annihilate the carbon fiber. Forrest Wang, just give a little, where's the emoji, right? That chef's kit. Everybody's seen it right now. It's blowing up the internet. Like all these kids, I don't know what they're saying. Take a look at it again. Watch this, just a little smooch.
Great job for Forrest Wang in the lead here. You can see he just gets that bumper into the wall. Beautifully done, didn't affect the vehicle at all. Little handbrake pull it outside zone 2, but gets out there, gets a lot deeper in 3 than Dean did on his lead run. You can see there, Dean got a little too close just before the transition, and it kind of messed up his transition, the timing there on the transition. Because he was so close, he got on the brakes to slow the car down so he wouldn't make contact, and then had to wait for Forrest to get out of the way to be able to make his transition. So that hurt Dean's chase. You can see there, Dean was not as wide on 1 or 2 or 3 for that matter, but Forrest in the lead doing a great job putting the car in all the right places and doing what a lead driver is supposed to do.
Yeah, that was really well executed. And that's kind of like, okay, I see what you do. I'm going to kind of refine it And I'll tell you what, I mean, he's got a lot of confidence from last night going into today's event. Dean Carnage Carney living up to his name. I always say that, but look at this. Slide him right for Forrest Wang. Forrest Wang gets the win. He is advancing on, and a great effort by Dean Carnage Carney. But guess what? We'll see you in just less than a month. We are going to be in Atlanta, Michelin Raceway, May 6th and 7th for round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. And Dean Carney in this situation knew that Forrest Wang won last night. He knew that Forrest Wang knows this track really well, is very consistent on this track. So the reason Dean went so hard on his lead run is because he knew what Forrest was capable of and what he was most likely going to put down in his lead, and he had to throw down a pretty wild run of his own. Just went a little overboard on outside zone 1, which, like I was saying earlier, the calculation on this track is so difficult because of the nature of that first blind corner. So Dean just miscalculated a little bit and ended up with a bit of damage on the back of his car. You can see the bumper sort of hanging off there as he came by again, but I'm sure they'll have it all fixed up for round number 2 in Atlanta in a month's time.
Dumps like a truck. What? Dean Carnage got a little bump. What? So Dean Carnage Carney got a little back end damage there, but he will be back out here for the Formula Drift Pro Championship in less than a month. And next up, our final battle of our Grade 8. The BC Racing Custom Coilover Grade 8. We are seeing a battle that we saw yesterday. And again, this is Essa versus Charpentier. 2 pro cars who we saw last weekend at the Pro Championship. These are nearly 1,000 horsepower vehicles. We have Michael Essa in the Liqui-Moly FCP Euro, Bilstein shock absorbers, BMW, going against the Garagistic BMW E36. Tell you what, this should be a fun one to watch, but I think they're gonna tread lightly, given that they have less than a month till their second stop of the championship. Oh, guess what? No, they're not. Yo, ooh, look at Michael Essa. Works his way out there, massages it into that touch and go, ripping it, gripping it. Ooh, Rome Charpentier. More like a carpenter with a planer. He just kind of trying to shave a little bit of distance between him and Michael Essa. Let's look at it again.
On that initiation, both drivers doing a great job. But look at Mike Essa's line here, almost all the way out to the wall. On outside zone 2, unfortunately, you can see that Rome in the chase position is taking a slightly tighter line. Did a little bit better on 3, and then as they transition to the inside clip, you can see that Rome's putting on the pressure, getting nice and close to Mike Essa's E46. So just look at the line in the chase position. His line was pretty good in the chase position there on zone 1, but zone 2 he's off considerably, so needs to tighten that up a little bit. Hopefully on his lead run he's able to get out wider, and then Mike Essa is going to have to better what Rome did in his chase when Mike goes into the chase position. So of course it's all comparative, lead to lead, chase to chase. That's why they both get the opportunity to kind of do what they can do in both situations, both positions, lead and chase.
I really like how you guys analyze kind of the opposing views, because it's really hard to dissect, you know, the fans and the education, what's going on here. Lead versus lead, chase versus chase. It's, you know, you kind of look at these, you know, you have to take the emotion out of it and kind of just analyze it. And I always like the side-by-side. We talked about this last night. You kind of don't go cross-eyed, you kind of go wonky-eyed, where you go left to right, and you really have to, you know, respectively look at both runs.
Yeah, you're really looking for those little differences in where the cars are positioned, on the line at least, and then you can analyze the angle pretty easily as well on the side-by-side.
So here we go. Rome Charpentier will be out front. Michael Essa in the chase position. Rome Charpentier, you see a little wobble there on entry. Oh, and that, oh man. I'll tell you what, Rome Charpentier does have to continue on through the course.
He does.
I really want to back it up and see what's going to transpire here. Did you see that little correction there from Rome?
So you can see Mike Essa shaking his head as he's driving down here. He just gave himself a lot of work lining up before Atlanta, unfortunately.
Yeah, so watch this again on initiation.
He pulled a little bit of angle out there, but his line was really good. You can see Mike Essa just went a little too deep in the chase. Luckily, though, those quick hands kept the car off the wall. He managed to control it enough that he did not get the front end in there, which would have led to much more damage. But you can see the rear end of that E46 is not looking great.
Do you think that Rome kind of let him into that position? Like,
well,
that's kind of, like I said,
lead him because he didn't end up in the wall himself. He ended up on a decent line.
Yeah.
It's up to Michael Essa to adapt and stay behind him there through that corner, and it looks like he just overshot. And that comes from, maybe a little bit more speed, trying to catch up on the straight up to initiation, maybe initiating, like a heartbeat later than Rome did with the same speed. Ends up just a little bit wider there, and a little bit wider on this track puts you into the wall. Another track, he would have maybe dropped a tire in the dirt, but you could see right after it happened, Mike was shaking his head, probably in disbelief at himself for putting the car into the wall like that. And you can see that they're discussing what happened, and maybe Mike's saying, hey, why did you have that little bobble at initiation? And he's saying, well, you know what? That's my right in the lead.
Yeah, right.
You need to do your thing in the chase.
Yeah, it's like I said, I did see that little kind of correction from Rome. I agree. I don't think that threw Michael Essa off. You saw his hands kind of go up like, ooh, that emoji again, talking about emojis. But Rome Charpentier gets the victory. He was on the podium last night, as was Essa. But unfortunately, Rome Charpentier does continue on. Here we are. We're already in the K&N Air Filters Final Four. As again, it's been a beautiful day here today. Not as hot as it was yesterday. It was blazing hot yesterday, but today, ideal. So absolutely great conditions right now. I mean, we're throwing on some sweatshirts right now, a little brisk with the breeze, but overall, what this does is it doesn't have the violent contrast from really hot track to really cold track. This is going to be kind of consistent throughout this evening. Yeah,
the fact that the sun was on the track earlier and now it's not is going to make a difference. But like you said, the heat difference is not there, that was there yesterday. It was a cooler day overall. It is getting, cooler now. You can see by the sweaters. Yeah. But I think that the track will be a little more consistent tonight. And you can see the drivers being way more comfortable immediately. They're throwing the cars all the way out to the wall. People are seemingly more comfortable and more confident with what's going on there. But, little miscalculations here and there can make a big difference.
Yep. This was a great run that we saw from Forrest Wang and Dean Carney earlier. As look at this, look at Forrest Wang.
Yeah, the precision, the repeatability of that precision the consistency is pretty amazing to see for somebody who doesn't compete at this level regularly anymore. He's seemingly ready to jump right into Formula Drift Pro competition tomorrow if he had to.
Yeah, Forrest Wang has a cult-like following. A lot of people here, either in the stands or online, are emphatic about what Forrest Wang does and the V-hate. Just regardless, he's kind of a soft-spoken dude. Just his progression over the years is he was kind of more a steezy, styly kind of drifter, but he's adapted with the time. So he's got that grip. He's got the side bite. Really looking forward to see him in the 2023 championship. We had some words. He's a new dad, almost 2 years old, his daughter. Him and his lady live out in Arizona, and he just kind of made some changes that it says, like, all right, cool, like, just developmentally, either personally or professionally. Regardless, I know he still has a great fan base.
Absolutely. Like you said, he's kind of a soft-spoken guy, but he lets what he does on the track speak volumes for him. He
kind of has that, something that I think you could speak to this even, being up in Canada, that JDM style. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think that's why he kind of has that affinity.
Look at the build of the car, too, the precision, the attention to detail, inside and out, under the hood, everywhere. It's something for other people that are building cars to really admire and try to replicate in their builds.
All right, we are now into the K&N Air Filters Final Four, the Brandon Sorensen, Alec Robbins battle. This is the first battle. This is the left side of the bracket. Because guess what? The winner is guaranteed a podium. Alec Robbins out front, Brandon Sorensen in the chase position. Alec Robbins into that first outside zone. Robbins, you can hear him hit that rev limiter. Brandon Sorensen taking a very shallow line. Alec Robbins, oh boy! Robbins loops it.
He was looking so good up until that spin right there. He was coming out so wide on 3. He got a little too aggressive on the throttle maybe through there. Maybe went a little wider than everybody else was going. Yeah, he potentially got himself into the marbles on the outside and ended up spinning out in that area. But he was looking solid in the lead position. His bumper is falling off at the moment, but I'm sure Kevin will have that fixed up. Let's see what happens here at initiation. You can see Brandon's a little bit on the inside, but Robbins is nice and wide on the outside there. Could have been deeper on outside zone 1 and 2, but watch his line going into 3. He goes really, really deep there, and gets a little bit loose and then a lot loose. Unfortunately, was out wide on 3 and maybe dropped a tire into an area that not many drivers have been going on 3. You know, up until now, we've seen a lot of drivers going not so deep in outside zone 3, but you can see he clearly was, despite having made some compromises on line on zone 1 and 2. Watch as he goes to 3. You can't even see the back of the car because he's so close to the wall on that replay. But luckily, Brandon Sorensen does not get into the side of the car. It was a safe spin. You can see he rubbed the bumper there on the wall. He got so deep, and he's going to put a little scrape on that banner, which I don't think any other drivers during the weekend here are putting scrapes on the wall way out there, you know?
No, not so much on zone 3.
No.
And mind you, again, with Alec Robbins. So Alec Robbins, you can see kind of tearing off the bumper, shutting off the lights. Hopefully his car is in running condition. You saw him kind of going back to the starting grid, and he revved it out. So there is a look at our K&N Air Filters Final 4. Brandon Sorensen, Alec Robbins, that's where we're at. That's the left side of the bracket. We're going to see Forrest Wang and Charpentier. And keep in mind that with our Final 4, this is a randomizer. So we do have a third place bracket. So if you're a kind of a traditionalist and you know Formula Drift, we traditionally don't have a third place consolation battle because that defaults to qualifying position. Qualifying's not here, so we do have a third place battle. Brandon Sorensen out front, United States Air Force, BMW. Alec Robbins, look at this. Holy cow.
Putting on pressure.
Yeah, you think? Kind of.
Wow.
Well, he's taking a shallow line. I'll tell you what, Brandon, not ideal, but I think it's going to get it done. And Alec Robbins now just kind of applying the pressure. But with that big spin, I think Alec Robbins says like, okay, I'm gonna get up on your door. It's like just like, I don't know. Yeah, not
Did you see
enough.
that line from Brandon Sorensen to outside zone 1? That was phenomenal.
Kind of fell off progressively though. I think he felt the pressure from Robbins.
Watch this replay as Brandon Sorensen gets to angle. You can see Alec Robbins right on the inside, nice and close, putting on the pressure. Outside zone 1, Brandon Sorensen rubs the wall. Doesn't do too bad on outside zone 2. There's a little bobble there between 2 and 3. Definitely not deep on 3, especially not as deep as Alec Robbins went, but I think he may have kind of learned a lesson there. Maybe don't go too wide in that zone, but beautiful precision there from Brandon Sorensen on outside zone 1. Could not have been any further into that wall without having an effect somewhat on the attitude of the vehicle. He did a great job of just getting out enough, getting the bumper just to flex as he rubbed the wall. So that's kind of what we're looking for there. And Robbins did a good job in the chase overall in proximity, but he wasn't there on line, unfortunately.
Slide him left for 17 years old. Look at that, Brandon Sorensen. He's high diving, high flying, Brandon Sorensen against Alec Robbins. So keep in mind, Brandon Sorensen does go to the finals. Alec Robbins is still potentially going to grab that final podium spot in third place. So Brandon Sorensen guaranteed at minimum second place, but he will be going to the finals. Brandon Sorensen and the United States Air Force BMW is going to the finals. Next up, we got Forrest Wang versus Rome Charpentier. Forrest Wang in the purple S15. Got the win last night. Can he go back-to-back? I think that's going to gain a lot of confidence for him. You know, I think he's going to, as we talked about it earlier, Ryan, seat time. That's crucial. I think you're not competing in the Pro Championship. Maybe, I don't know if this is his pro car. Is he going to campaign this car? Or is he going to campaign, or is he building a new car? You know?
I don't know either.
All right.
I just don't know.
A lot of unknown factors here. What we do know is Forrest Wang, Rome Charpentier. One of these gentlemen is going against Brandon Sorensen in the finals.
So last night, Forrest Wang won the event, and Rome Charpentier was in third. So right now, Charpentier what? Charpentier?
We can just call him Rome Charpentier what?
Charpentier what?
Rome Charpentier.
They ended up in first and third respectively last night, but now they're going up against one another in the Final 4, which will put one into the finals and then one into the battle for third position. So we could potentially get them in either first or third. Again, we'll see what happens.
Variety, perspective, different vehicles. And it's good to see both those guys, again, I saw on social media. Be sure to tag at Formula D. Let us know you're out here, hashtag FDLB. And also, if you want to pick up some official Formula Drift merchandise here in the building between the bleachers of 16 and 18. You can't miss the Formula Drift 10s. Here we go with the second half of this Can-Am Air Filters Final Four. Rome Charpentier, Forrest Wang leaving that start line. Rome Charpentier initiated Forrest Wang back quite a bit. Mayberry kind of pacing himself. Ooh, look at Rome. He knows who he's going against, Ryan. He knows he's got to throw it down. He just saw an amazing run from Forrest Wang, and Rome Charpentier says, okay, I'm here to play. Look, your car's purple. The back of my car's purple. Get all up in that purple business.
You can see that Rome definitely thought he needed to get that car on the wall.
Yeah.
In the chase position, though, I don't think he was too affected there, Forrest was, but you can see that there was a bit of a perturbation in the attitude of the car there.
Right.
He got into the wall a little too hard, and that's what we don't want those lead drivers to do. You want to get out to the wall, rub the bumper, but we don't want to see the vehicle actually be affected by the hit. So watch the hit there. See the angle come out of the car? He goes to really low amount of angle. The car settles at that low amount of angle, and then he transitions. So that's going to be a detriment to Rome in the lead position. Unfortunately, that's not going to be ideal from him. So while we're looking at lead-to-lead comparisons, that's going to hurt Rome. We don't know what's going to happen with Forrest in the lead, but right now we know that Rome has a bit of a hit against him there. His transition to the touch and go also had a bit of a step to it. So that step transition is we don't want to see. We want to see a quick, smooth, and accurate transition. And you can see Rome there kind of stepping that transition to the touch and go. In the chase, it looked like Forrest wasn't really too affected by what happened in the lead. Kept his proximity pretty close and didn't get affected by any of the mistakes that Rome made.
No, that was really well done by both the drivers. I'll tell you what. Oh, look at that. Giving it up for Cal Club. Cal Club, all the fine women, gentlemen, them, all working the track in white, making sure we run a safe and sound and clean track through the entirety of the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach event. Here we go. This is the second half of this battle. Forrest Wang, Rome Charpentier. Forrest Wang out front. We saw an amazing lead run from him. And there he goes into that first. Oh, man, wall to wall. Woo-wee! Look at that. Super dupe all up in your wall business. Into that third outside zone. Now into that touch and go. Into that final inside clip. Wow. Wow.
So
what do you say?
Rome's putting on the pressure. He knew that he had to put together a great chase run. He had to be close. He had to mimic the line, the angle, the transitions, and he got in there a little too aggressive, bumped the back of the car against Forrest's car. It seemed like Forrest was unaffected, but let's look at the replay here. Forrest right out to the wall. It affected him very, very slightly as he tapped the wall there. Not as much as it did when Rome Charpentier hit the wall, but look at the this position right here. So Rome comes in a little too hot, over-rotates the car just slightly. The back of his car is almost wheel to wheel with Forrest. So there's that hit again with Forrest. Just moves the car ever so slightly. Forrest stays at angle and transitions properly the way we want to see. Gets out nice and wide. Look how close he is to that wall right there. Inches to the wall. Little handbrake pull, back on throttle. And then in the chase position, you see Rome on a slightly tighter line. We'd like to see him out a little bit wider there. Forrest nice and wide out to zone 3. We're going to get a better view here from this camera. Of course, we love this camera. Is that a scrape right there? That's mere inches.
Wow.
Maybe even touched a little bit. Nice and close to that wall. Great line from Forrest Wang in the lead. And then as they come through here, look at the angle as well. Had to pull slightly a bit of angle out, but got the car back to the right amount of angle. Big transition here, and this is where Rome comes in really hot. You can see the brakes, sparks flying off,
look at
wheel to wheel,
bonk,
a little
bonk.
Rub maybe in the front as well.
Bing
and then
bong.
you can see Forrest just doing a great job staying calm and collected in the lead.
Oh man, that was really nice. That was very exemplary. I'm telling you what, I can't wait to see Forrest Wang back here in 23. I'm sorry, Rome. You might get third place, but you're not getting first or second. Forrest Wang gets the win, and Forrest Wang is going to the finals. A great effort there by Rome Charpentier.
So now we have Rome versus Robbins for third place.
Rome versus, oh yeah, We do. We have Rome versus Robbins. Thank you so much. I was like, wait, what? Oh yeah.
What's going on?
I know. Well, I think about third place. I'm like, wait, we have third place battles. That's right. So we do have a third place battle, but we have Rome Charpentier versus Alec Robbins, and in the finals, we have that of Brandon Sorensen, 17 years old, versus Forrest Wang, who is definitely an accomplished veteran. Man, we're already quickly getting to the third place battle and our finals. Just like that. I mean, man, you're going to be home before dinner time, Ryan. What's for dinner, by the way? What's for dinner? What are we having?
I haven't decided yet, Jared.
I might go to the Pike Bar. Have you ever been to the Pike Bar?
Years ago, Jared.
Pike Bar, Cherry and 4th. Join us over there. It's my favorite. It's my favorite bar in the world. It's always a good time. Shout out to my boy Chris Reese. That is how our Final Four has shaped up. We're seeing Forrest Wang versus Brandon Sorensen. They're in the finals. And then going for third place, Alec Robbins versus Rome Charpentier. RCP. We're just going to call him RCP. Can we agree on that, Ryan? Okay. You're saying, you're giving me the unaudible head shake. When we come back, we're going to be seeing our third place battle and then our final battle here at our Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge. Thank you for joining us out here at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. Turns 9, 10, 11 on this iconic track. Don't go anywhere. Take a short commercial break, like literally moments. Don't go anywhere. Don't go. Come right back. Thank you.
For those who don't settle when others do, who will give everything but won't give up. For those who believe in unlimited while others limit themselves. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
Your first ever three-peat champion, 2017, 2018, and now 2019 Formula Drift champ. It is James the Machine Dean. We have solidified a champion in James Dean. The three-peat has happened for the first time ever in FD history.
After winning a championship, you should be on top of the world, you know. But I think that hurt.
You can open a can of worms there if you want.
One of the top drivers there to suddenly watching it on the live stream.
You don't just disappear as put from a team after winning 3 championships together.
There's nothing else in this earth that gives me that same feeling, so just trying to get that feeling back, really.
Even when things aren't going his way, he will try and pull something out of the bag to bring things around.
I would be lying if I said that I didn't want to win or that I don't have high hopes. I have the highest of hopes.
He's the best drifter in the world right now.
I absolutely wouldn't change anything. We've had our struggles, don't get me wrong, but I think they make the good times so much better.
So yeah, exciting times ahead. Let's see how it works out.
Welcome back as dinner is almost served. We are looking at 7:20 on that PM dial as the sun is setting. The sun is still up. The lights are barely coming on, and we're already into our third place consolation battle. Dean Carney joins us up here because he's not down on track. The sleeves of his suit is off, but guess what? We'll see him at round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. I know we're going to see you there because you're either tuning in online or you're going to be in the building. That is Michelin Raceway. May 6th and 7th, round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. But right now, the settle will be scored for third place, and then eventually our winner here at Saturday Night Lights of the Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge. Ryan, we saw Forrest Wang win last night. Brandon Sorensen, he got knocked out in the 8th. Now here he is going for, he's guaranteed at minimum second place. I mean, you know, the odds are saying that Forrest Wang is going to win again.
Well, that's yet to be seen, Jared. We never know what's going to happen. Yeah, we were just talking to Team Carney, and you know, it's always great to talk to the drivers because they give us feedback about the track that we don't know sitting up here. And
the old butt dyno, as they say.
Yeah, and he was telling
track
us
perspective.
The track is ultra slick going into outside zone 1, and it's something that is very unexpected, and nobody really knows why it's that slippery. And it wasn't that slippery last night. It wasn't that slippery last weekend. So it's something that is catching the drivers off guard. We saw Michael Essa go in as well, and I'm sure he's feeling the exact same way that Dean Carney's feeling right now. So looking at what we have coming up here, we have Robbins and we have Rome. So they know they need to get out wide to outside zone 1. That is going to set the pace for this whole run. Exactly. They have to try to be precise while not overshooting. And if you don't take the chance to get on the right line, you might undershoot, and then you're going to be way off the wall, and it's no better. Well, I mean, it's better in the terms of you're not going to have a crushed car, but in terms of this battle, it's not going to put you in a good position. And the nice thing about leading second is that you get to watch what the other driver does first. You get to see how they lay down their line and what they're doing, and then you either have to match or better that. But if you go first, you have to set the bar really high.
Oh, yeah. Well, guess what? Third place battle going down right now.
We have a restart.
What's homegirl's name?
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, dude, I like that.
Yeah, no
I love that you got that music reference off of my terrible
imitation of Missy Elliott.
Yep. I can't stand them. Right.
So Alec Robbins is going to try again in the lead position. Needs to get through there without hitting any cones. He has to not jump the light. He needs to not park on the light, and he needs to not stall his car either at the light. So let's see how he does. The lights are all lighting up, and they've extinguished. Try to get through there without hitting a cone, my friend, and he does.
We are safe. No strike 2. Alec Robbins out front. Rome Charpentier in the chase position. Alec gets out there, gets into that ice. Doesn't dig deep, but keeping it safe. Rome Charpentier, that allows him. Now keep in mind, 2 pro cars. Now going out to that touch and go into that final inside clip. No real, just kind of like, it was.
He got through the course.
Yep. There's some opportunity there.
Absolutely. So looking at Robbins in the lead position, doesn't get all the way wide on zone 1. Does not get all the way wide on zone 2, but in the chase, watch Rome mimicking the line, mimicking the angle, doing everything he needs to do in the chase position. That's all we ask of the chase driver. Mimic what the lead driver's doing. If the lead driver's offline, follow him offline, as long as it doesn't put you in a dangerous situation or a situation where you're going to hit the wall or anything like that. But look at where Rome's positioning his car. He's doing a great job. You can see Alec there having a bit of trouble with the angle. You saw him pull a little bit out while not being online either. So this is not an ideal lead run. He's off the zones, having some angle issues, not really putting the car where he wants to. You can see here he's going to run over inside clip 1 as he comes by there as well. So I think he missed the touch and go as well, if I'm not mistaken. He was inside quite a bit there, didn't get all the way wide, and it put him on a tight line coming into the clip, runs it over with the front wheel, and you can see in the chase position, Rome's doing what he was supposed to. That's perfect.
I felt like Rome was drooling. We talked about setting the table and kind of dinner. He's like, "Oh, look at this Alec Robbins steak. I'm gonna get on this." And like it was like, meh. He didn't deliver. He didn't go all the way out there. So he was like ready to dig his teeth and his claws in, but just, you expect a ribeye, he got a McRib.
But he did put his car in the right place in the chase, and that's what he needed to do.
Facts.
So it might have not been ideal in terms of a lead run, but now it's Rome's turn. Rome gets to show what he's capable of. He needs to not go too deep in outside zone 1, but he does need to get out to the wall without burying the back of the car in there.
G-O-L-D, gold. Let's go. Here we go, Rome, R-O-M-E, Charpentier out front into that first outside zone. Good initiation, you saw that. Quick to angle, but watch this transition. See, there's Rome. You talked about it, getting that clean air. Alec, he's in the mix, just like needs to turn it up. Just that's an early initiation from Alec, and that set him up on the wrong line. I mean, that is, I love Alec's aggressiveness. Just watch it again.
Yeah, look how smooth Rome is in the lead position. He's on throttle. He's putting the car where it needs to go. Not quite as accurate as you'd like, but all he has to do is better what Alec Robbins did on his lead run, and he is doing that right now. He's getting out wider. I think maybe 1, they were about the same, maybe a little bit deeper, but 2, 3 did a much better job. Got around inside clip 1 without making contact with it, and you can see in the chase position, Alec is doing an okay job. His proximity isn't great, but he is kind of mimicking the line more or less. You can see as they come through 3 here, the back of Robbins' car is back where it should be. It's not the front of the car matching the front of the lead driver. So the only thing you can see here is he's got that long handbrake pull. His line isn't ideal. Coming in on the inside, sort of diving in there a little bit, runs over inside clip 1 pretty significantly. So Robbins is not putting his car in the right place in the chase position everywhere, but he did maintain that proximity. Unfortunately, he had an unideal lead run. So that's
well, guess what? This is for 3rd place, and Rome Charpentier goes back-to-back. 3rd place for Rome Charpentier, back-to-back Friday and Saturday night here at the Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge. So Rome Charpentier and the garage. This is great track time for him. I mean, mind you, we have a silly season, which is, if you don't know, it's the off season. You develop your car, you come in, you got round 1. You come into the most unforgiving track of the Formula Drift Championship. Not to say that the other rounds of competition are unforgiving, but this is the most unforgiving. So I think it's good track time for Rome.
Absolutely. No, this is a good way to get some more seat time competitively. Yeah, get that slight pressure of competition as well under your belt. The more experience with that you get, I don't think it ever truly goes away, but you get to deal with it a little bit better over time.
I feel like he's doing yoga out here. He's really stretching out, doing the downward dog, doing the, pigeon pose, and he's just really stretching it out, just making sure all the kinks and all the muscles are being stretched, because guess what? In just a month, you're gonna join us online or in the building, round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. These are the finals? These are the finals. I speaks for a living, by the way. These are the finals, and this is Forrest Wang and Brandon Sorensen. These are the finals. We saw Forrest Wang get the win last night. Brandon Sorensen not part of the equation. Here we go. Let's send it Long Beach. Forrest Wang, your Get Nuts Laboratory S15, the United States Air Force, BMW. Brandon Sorensen, Forrest Wang, back at it like a crack addict. That's right. Forrest Wang delivering. Wang Chung all night long as the Type S lights are on underneath both vehicles. I mean, I'm so excited to see Forrest Wang back on track.
Look at the precision from Forrest Wang here. Despite that unpredictable slippery track, gets out pretty close to zone 1. Zone 2, beautiful. Does a little rub there with the bumper. Comes out to 3, pretty deep on 3 as well. In the chase position, you can see Brandon struggling to keep up, trying to stay in drifts, trying to stay on the right line in the chase position. And you can see here as Forrest goes to zone 1, Brandon does not go to zone 1. As Forrest transitions to number 2, Brandon does not go to zone 2 either. You can see that the line is significantly different. There is a handbrake pull from our friend in the lead position there. He does it every time he comes through that area, but he does get the bumper right on the wall. You have to wonder if he'd be able to get through the rest of the track without that handbrake pull. We always give them a hard time with briefings about handbrake pulls. Forrest. He always pulls the handbrake right at outside zone 2, and you have to wonder, would his line suffer significantly or at all from not pulling that handbrake if he just got through there on throttle instead?
And again, the progression of Forrest's style, he kind of has this big, loosey-goosey JDM style, and traditionally in the past it's been a little slower because he throws a lot of angle on it, so he's got high wheel speed, which creates a lot of smoke. So it's steezy, but is it competition worthy.
But
so
see,
that's where it gets kind of this,
yeah.
this conundrum.
At that point, he's already got the transition done. He's back on throttle. He's going by the zone, and he pulls it beyond the wall sometimes. So you have to wonder if it's necessary, if it's like a comfort thing, or I'm not sure. But here we go.
Regardless, this is for the win. Who's getting it? FTW. Brandon Sorensen, Forrest Wang. Brandon Sorensen throws it in. Oh, Brandon goes deep. Forrest Wang, you can see him modulating his throttle. He went too hard. Forrest Wang now modulating it, taking a shallower line. And now coming into that final inside clip. So the scenario here is Brandon Sorensen. All right, let's take a look at it. Brandon was the lead driver. Forrest Wang for the win. Who's going to get it? I really want to watch this again because Brandon. Watch Brandon and then watch Forrest. Why was he so aggressive?
Well, I'm looking at what you see the brake lights on the entire run from Brandon Sorensen. I don't think they ever went off, and you can hear his car laboring.
Oh yeah.
He's from the beginning. If you watch him come around the first corner, he was on the brake from the beginning, and it looked like Forrest was on the right line at initiation, but then it looked. I don't know. It's so hard to tell from our position here, but Brandon is on the brakes. You can see his brake lights are on the entire run, I think, and it looked like an initiation.
Are those the type S lights though?
Well, underneath it is, but if you look at the brake light there, and then the top light, he was on the brakes for that entire run, I think. And I'm not sure what the reason is for that, but at initiation, it looked like Forrest was in the right position, and then as soon as they got to angle, you can see that it looked like Forrest didn't really have anywhere to go there, and went inside a little bit, trying to avoid Brandon in front of him. So
that was a really interesting scenario for Brandon and Forrest Wang in this final battle. We do know that Rome Charpentier does get third place. It's up to these two gentlemen.
All right, so we've got a replay coming here. We need to see this a little bit closer to see what happened, just so that we can explain and see what occurred. And it could have to do with how slippery the track is there. Going in with too much speed can be slightly unnerving. It can be a little bit dangerous. So if you go in there on the brakes, it could kind of control the car a little bit more, make it a little bit more safe. So here's our side-by-side from BC Racing. If you watch the initiation from both drivers, you can see that Forrest is flowing through there pretty well. And then you've got in the lead position Brandon on the brakes through the entirety of the run. It looked like it choked Forrest up. It took Forrest a second to try to adapt to what was going on ahead of him, but he finally did do so and get around the track behind him. But we do have discussions about this in the briefing sometimes about trying to avoid left foot braking when it does visually decel the car. And we try to reduce the amount of that as much as possible in the lead position. You want to give the chase driver the best possible opportunity, let's say, to put together a great chase run.
Well, we see three vehicles down here on the track. Make some noise for them, Long Beach! Mother will be home for dinner time, but guess what? We have some repeat customers, two of which are on the podium from last night and then here tonight. Your third place finisher here at the Saturday Night Lights Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge Garagistic Give Moderns Hell BMW Rome Charpentier is third place at the 2022 Super Drift Challenge. And now your winner, it's unanimous, a great showing here. Thank you so much for joining us. Your winner, again, Saturday night, Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge, the winner on the streets of Long Beach. It's unanimous. Back-to-back, Forrest Wang gets the win. Forrest Wang is your winner here tonight. Congratulations to the Get Nuts Laboratory, Yellow Speed Racing, S15. And second place, 17 years old from Las Vegas, Nevada, in the United States Air Force, BMW, Brandon Sorensen. Second place here at the Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge. Congratulations to Forrest Wang, Brandon Sorensen, and Rome Charpentier. Those are your 1, 2, and 3 here this evening. Ryan Lontaine, Forrest Wang. Again, cult-like following. People love him. You know, just has this really just fantastic style. Very steezy, as the kids would say, but just a good, exciting deal. Thank you to Bill, the bearded one, for being out here last week and this weekend. Thank you to Cal Club. But your thoughts on last night's and tonight's festivities?
Yeah, you've touched on Forrest Wang's cult following a couple of times, and I think his driving that we saw tonight is the reason why he has that. You know, that accuracy, the smoothness, the style, the angle, the smoke, the throttle. It's what makes him enjoyable to watch. And like we said earlier, the build quality of the car, the attention to detail, just how well put together everything that he does is, really exemplifies, I think, what people want to emulate in their drift careers or their drift cars. So great to see him doing well out here. Brandon Sorensen, like we keep saying, he's just getting better and better every time he drives. He has all that experience at his young age, but he just keeps getting more, soaking it up from all these veterans here, and I think he has a really strong future in the sport.
Brandon Sorensen, his sister Amanda Sorensen, and even his younger brother. Sorensen family, definitely an accomplished motorsports family. Looking forward to seeing them. Larry Chen down there on the track. He's going to shoot some photos of our podium finishers as we are getting ready to see them. And guess what? We'll see you in Atlanta, May 6th and 7th, round 2 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Congratulations to those 3 gentlemen. Rome Charpentier, 3rd place. Brandon Sorensen, 2nd place. And back-to-back winner, Friday and Saturday night at the Formula Drift Super Drift Challenge. That is Forrest Wang, your winner back-to-back, both evenings here on this iconic track. Turns 9, 10, 11, we kind of burned some rubber, laid some tracks, literally and figuratively of our own. Thank you to Ryan Lontaine, Brian Egger, Chris Yule, Joyce for running race control, Ryan Sage, DJ Egas. Thank you to the whole crew. Thank you to all our sponsors. And we'll see you in Atlanta. We'll see you online, or we'll see you another time. I'm Jared DeAnda. Send it, Formula Drift Nation.
Good night, everybody.